Hello, welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you how to use the vegetation tool and how we can use the existing assets that we have in our blank level to populate our current level with some vegetation. So we go back into the terrain tab, which is just here, and we click on the vegetation tool. We already have all the vegetation models that we set up from the vanilla game, which is already here on our blank level. We can tweak these, we can change the models out of these if we want, or we can make our own categories. It's really up to you. I do recommend just playing around with just the basic vegetation models that we already have imported in here. For example, we could make a new vegetation category here. Maybe we want to call it forest, and we can add all the different trees and things into this and make our own forest brush which we can just spray around and use. The way it's set up right now is that they're all just separated into their own individual categories. So you got trees, rocks, ground plants, ground leaves, and all sorts of other things. But you can put, say, trees and mix it with bushes and all sorts and tweak the densities of those, and then you can have just a brush which you spray around and create a forest quicker. But we're going to just go with the basic setup that we've already got here. So if I go into trees, and if I want a certain type of tree, look for one like conifer. These are quite nice trees, and we can go around placing some trees. It's fairly easy to do, and these are all already set up with the correct LOD settings that we use for islands, and they're already set up for the wind as well. So there really isn't anything you would need to change if you use our existing ones that we have already. So you can go around, populate, say we're making like a little forest. Don't have to do it like this. We can make the brush a bit bigger, so you can make the brush radius bigger, and then we can go to density and we can tweak it. Say let's put it on density 20. We make the brush a bit bigger, and we can spray that tree around. It's quite dense, but I mean, hopefully you get the idea. If you want to delete them, you can just select them individually and delete, or you can draw a box over them, and we can go to our move tool, move them around. Maybe we want to put these trees up here, or you can select them like this and press the delete key and delete them as well. Another easy way, if say we have all these trees here, maybe we have this type of tree here as well. Paint some of these down. And I apologize, I'm doing this quite rough, to be honest, just to show you the demonstration. But obviously when you create your own level, you probably want to be a bit more, I don't know, neater. Make it a bit nicer. So say maybe I want to get rid of a certain type of tree in an area. So I want to get rid of this type of tree. And select it here. Go to paint. Maybe make the brush a bit bigger. And then if you hold down Control, you can see that it's changed to remove. So keep and hold Control, will remove any of that tree. Place them again. Move them. That's really easy. Well, it's really useful if you just want to delete certain types of vegetation from an area, or if you want to quickly remove something that you've just placed as well. So maybe I'll place a couple of these trees as well. I'm going to remove them, hold Control, and I can remove them. Okay, when it comes down to grass, we do have procedural options, which I showed in my last video, where you can paint procedural grass on the ground. Now there is some limitations to this. CryEngine only allows a set amount per block. So if it exceeds that, it starts going a bit weird. But the way it's set up in this editor right now, the way I've set it up, is all the correct values, that you don't get all this weirdness that comes with it. But if you do tweak the density of these, it can cause some issues. But I do recommend that you use place vegetation rather than procedural, because you have more control on view distance. You also have more control on placement, but procedural is a lot quicker. But the best way to do it is with the vegetation tool. And another advantage to using the vegetation tool grass is using merged grass. So for small plants like what we have here is field grass merge. What we can do is we can paint that. This has more complex simulation on wind and also touch bending. So when you move through this grass, it will move according to where the player is as well. And it's also a lot better on the draw calls, the CPU, for performance. So you can have really dense grass like this using this, but because it's set to auto merged, the engine auto calculates blocks of them and merges them into one object. Instead of rendering millions of individual ones, it renders just one block, and that saves a lot on CPU power. Okay, there's also some interactive vegetation that we used. In Miscreated, we have like berry bushes you can pick from, and also apple trees you can pick from, and seaweed, and these are all set up in the vegetation tool. So you can see here under bushes, there's berry bush. We can place them around, and these are the ones that are interactive with the player. And I've put these, if I go back to where all my examples are, I've put all the different ones here. You can see interactive vegetation, to use the vegetation tool to place these. So you got the seaweed, you got the clams that you can find, underwater seaweed, the berry bushes, and the different apple trees. So those are really good for item spawns for apples and berries and the seaweed. Let's go back to our area. Maybe we want to add some apple trees to our scene where it can pick from. Like I said before, this isn't the prettiest of levels. I'm just basically going through all the different mechanics, all the different tools that you can utilize to make a prettier level. That's basically it for the vegetation system. I hope that helps and gives you a good understanding of how easy it is to populate your level with vegetation. If you look on the Cry docs on the CryEngine 3 website, there is an extensive documentation on these tools in a lot more detail than I've taken here. But with the level that we set up here, you've got all the stuff that we used for islands that helps you get a good head start making your own custom map. Thank you for watching.